Dips. Dips are basically the squats of the upper body and can be a great addition to any workout for building a bigger chest or triceps. To distinguish between chest-focused dips and triceps-focused dips, you just need to know this one thing. If you lean slightly forward, you will switch the focus of the exercise to your chest. But if you stay more upright, it will be more triceps-focused. So if you are new to doing dips, I would highly recommend filming your sets, as you want your elbows to be roughly at a 90-degree angle. And you might think that you are doing that, but from my experience, this is one of the most common beginner mistakes. Because if you go down by just 1 inch, you are not really training anything. So make sure that it's all good, okay? Bench press. Bench press is the main chest builder for majority of the people. No matter if you use a barbell or a dumbbell, you need to get into the arched position while doing the exercise. This will help you to get into a more stable position, which will also increase your power output. Plus, thanks to the arch, you will shift the load from your shoulders to your chest, which will also protect your shoulders. And you will also be able to feel your chest way more than if you just lay it completely flat. But what has to be said, don't make the arch way too big. A small arch is all that you need. To get into the arched position, push your chest as high as you can and squeeze your shoulder blades together while pushing your traps into the bench. And then you hold this position for your whole set. If you do it correctly, your back won't be laying flat on the bench like before, but it's going to have this nice little arch. And this applies to basically any kind of pressing movement. So it doesn't matter if you are doing the bench press, incline bench press, a Smith machine bench press or a machine press. Just always get into the arched position. But what I really want to highlight is the part where you are supposed to push your chest up. Because a lot of people just glance over this, but that is a big mistake. The next time you do any chest exercise, really try to push your chest as high as you can and you will see that the difference is absolutely insane. You can go from not feeling your chest at all to full mind-muscle connection just like that. And what I really want to mention is that when it comes to the barbell bench press, the width of your grip is very important. The wider your grip is, the more chest focused the exercise will become. And the closer your grip is, the more triceps focused it will become. What you also shouldn't forget about is your legs. Even though the bench press is not a lower body exercise, legs play a huge role when pressing. You will be able to lift way more weight if your legs are firmly planted into the ground. So don't press in slippers or anything that makes your legs slide all over the place. As I said in one of my previous videos, you really want to feel like your legs are buried in cement. That's how you will push the most weight possible. And this once again goes for all the pressing exercises, not just the flat bench press. And there is one more thing that you need to know, and that is the speed at which you should lift and lower the weight. You don't want to just mindlessly bang out the weight, that's not what it's about. I like to use the slingshot example. Imagine that when you lower the weight on the bench press, you are just loading a big slingshot. And you know what happens when you pull the slingshot more and more. It slows down and gets tougher and tougher the more you pull it. So when you lower the weight, think of the slingshot and do the same exact thing. And once that slingshot is loaded, you can shoot. And again, this is relevant for all the pressing exercises. Incline bench press. Incline bench press is responsible for building that upper chest. So what you want to do is set the bench at a 30-degree angle, together with using a small arch. This is the angle that will fit most of the people, and the adjustable benches in the gym are usually preset to this angle. And the other super important thing about the incline bench press is the position of the bar when you are pressing. You want to press straight up, and when you go down, you basically want to touch the clavicle bone. That will give you the best results. And don't forget, as I said before, get into that arch position, try to push your chest up and get your legs firmly planted. And get into that slingshot mindset. And before we continue, let me show you my training plans. If you are looking for simple and easy to follow training plans, then this is exactly what you have been looking for. It doesn't matter what level of experience you have in the gym, as the foundation of the training plans are the basic exercises that stood the test of time, which is the perfect concoction of simplicity and gains. So if that sounds good, click the first link in the description. Decline bench press. As the name suggests, you put the bench into a slightly declined position, but the thing with this type of press is that it's not really needed. Yes, it has its pros, you can focus more on the lower chest, but 99% of the time that is not the problem. A lot of people think that their chest is small because they have small lower chest. But come on dude, that's not really the issue. If your chest looks small, it's because your whole chest is small. It's not because your lower chest is small, that is just pure copium. Just get back to the basics and keep grinding without trying to find any fancy excuses. Smith machine. The Smith machine has one crucial function. The barbell is fixed on rails. which greatly increases the stability of the exercise and allows you to just purely focus on pressing the weight up. No matter what angle of the Smith machine you decide to go with, the same exact tips as for the bench press apply. While the Smith machine can be a good addition to your routine, I wouldn't let it be your only pressing exercise in your routine. If you have some injury that prevents you from using a normal barbell or a dumbbell press, then okay, I can see it, but otherwise your main lift should be with either a barbell or dumbbells. And the Smith machine can be treated more as an isolation exercise. Machine chest press. The machine chest press is a great isolation exercise. Here, it's really important that you use the same tips as on the bench press, mainly the arch and the chest up. Don't let your chest collapse, because then the exercise is absolutely useless. Also, make sure that the handles are at a chest level, so that you are not pressing with your shoulders. That wouldn't be good. The machine chest press is an exercise where you can really milk a lot of gains. When done properly, it's just a pure mind-muscle connection heaven. Push-ups. Push-up is the most basic pressing exercise. That's why you should really know how to do it properly. Push-ups and bench press are actually very similar exercises when you think about it. After all, they are both horizontal presses, and basically the same thing applies for both exercises. So once again, the arch position and the chest up. But when doing push-ups, really make sure that your hips are not sagging. You need to keep your body in a straight line. And also, don't engage in any half-rep shenanigans. Try to go deep on every rep. And if that's too difficult, you can make it easier by elevating your hands. But if you want to make it more difficult, elevate your legs instead. And when it comes to the grip, the same thing as for the bench press applies. Wider grip will hit your chest more, but a closer grip will focus on your triceps instead. That's why the diamond push-up, for example, is used more as a triceps exercise rather than a chest exercise. Fly. The cable/dumbbell fly is one of the best, if not the best, isolation exercise for the chest. There are a couple of important things that you should know. Most importantly, control the weight at all times. This is an absolute must-do. You should really focus on squeezing your chest once you bring the cables or dumbbells together. And when you then go back from that position, really let your arms open wide while still keeping your chest up. This way you will get an amazing stretch of the chest. Because if you let your chest collapse, the exercise will once again be useless. So remember, chest up. Pec deck. The technique is very similar to the cable/dumbbell fly. Really squeeze your chest when you bring the handles together. And as you go back, you once again want to open up your chest to get the maximum stretch. So make sure that you go in a controlled manner and really try to use the chest muscles to bring the handles together and not any other body part. And obviously adjust the position of the seat so that the handles are at a chest level. Landmine press. The landmine press is a very underrated exercise that you don't really see many people do. In my opinion, the best way of doing the landmine press is actually by kneeling down and not standing up. But it's up to you which variation you decide to go with. The problem with this exercise is that it's pretty difficult to execute properly if you have never done it before. Because if you do it wrong, you might very well just hit your shoulders and nothing else. That's why it's really important to once again push your chest up and pull your shoulder blades back. In other words, get into the arch position once again. And instead of the end of the barbell being somewhere around your neck area when you press, it should be somewhere around your lower chest, which will put the bar a little bit more in front of you. That way you can really hit your chest and not shoulders. Dumbbell pullover. The dumbbell pullover is a certified old school classic. If you want to target your chest and not your back with this exercise, you need to do the following. Once you put the dumbbell in the correct position, you want to have your arms almost straight, with just a slight bend in your elbows. And if you are going to do a chest-focused dumbbell pullover, you need to keep your elbows in, because if you flare out your elbows, you are going to hit your lats instead. It might take you a couple of tries, but I'm sure that you will nail it sooner or later. And that's all I got for you. Good luck in the gym, and I will see you next time. How about you take a look at this video? I heard it's pretty good.